Double J, Jeff Jarrett here to tell you about SaveWithConrad.com. You've heard Conrad talk about the total nonstop savings they provided current homeowners. But did you know Conrad and his team can also help My World listeners become homeowners? They make buying a home easier than getting the bag after a good housekeeping match. But don't take the Last Outlaw's word for it.
Franklin Dove, Orlando, Florida. After listening to all of Conrad's podcasts and hearing the different stories that he shared, I felt the time was right for me to explore buying a home again, and reached out, and one thing led to another, and finally closed last week. It was excellent. Everything flowed smoothly from my first contact. I just put in the initial request online. Francis reached out. We started the application process, got the approval moving. Holly was great. Larry Thompson was amazing. Everything was smooth. Communication was perfect. Really, it was a much better experience than anything that I could have imagined. My name is Franklin Dove in Orlando, Florida, and I got into my dream home thanks to SaveWithConrad.com.
That's right. In my world, it doesn't get any better than 5 stars. Don't let your landlord get over on you. Walk out on that bad deal and stop throwing your money away on rent today with SaveWithConrad.com. That's right. It's SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 65084, Equal Housing Lender. Woo!
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett, First Arcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Bodden, Mid-South Joint World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off center stage. Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch a long time, not too left. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chant. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when? WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
September is just about over, but it's time for yet another bonus podcast here on Patreon. And we are talking to one of our longtime friends, one of our low-key big hogs, Big Kev from down in Texas. Kev, how you doing, man?
I am doing awesome today. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to talk to you. Kev was with us in Huntsville, Alabama, just to show you that people from Texas know where Alabama is. And most people don't. Most people think it's a little strip of land between Mississippi and Georgia, but it is a pretty good place. Kev, it's great to talk to you, man. And the match that you wanted to see was from Super Clash 3. It was the unification match between Jerry Lawler and Kerry Von Erich. That's a match that a lot of people talked about after that match took place. Tell us about that match.
Yeah, it was a great match. One of those matches that is unification, AWA, trying to compete with the McMahon and WWF at the time, and just a pretty good match. A lot of controversy in it, how the match ended and everything like that. A lot of blood in it as well.
Right.
Just all around good match. Shows a good psychology of Jerry Lawler too.
Right. Conrad and I've talked about this many times, is that Jerry Lawler could work with anybody. I mean, he would have a great match with anybody because he knew how to work.
Yeah. A lot of psychology. A lot of times he wouldn't touch his opponent for 10 minutes just using the microphone.
Right. He was tremendous. Now I went on Wikipedia to double check what I had heard about this match, and apparently there was a lot of fallout about this match afterwards. It had to do with payouts and had to do with. Do you know any of that story?
Only from what I've heard, I guess through the videos that the WWE has put out. Just basically, Lawler didn't get paid. Verne Gagne basically took all the money.
Right. Didn't pay the guys and didn't pay Lawler a cent for this match. And so Lawler was stripped of the AWA title apparently after this. And then Gagne went on to apparently bury him on TV. And that's all on Wikipedia, and I know it's on some other websites as well. So a lot of controversy out of that, but it doesn't shy away from the fact that it was a great match between these two competitors, and it shows you what a great competitor Kerry Von Erich was. Now, you live down in Texas, so you're probably very familiar with the Von Erichs, right?
Yeah. Know the Von Erichs pretty well. Although when I was growing up and when they were hot, I actually was living on the West Coast at the time.
Okay.
But still kind of follow with the magazines and, what I could see here and there.
Sure.
But there was good stuff. I've always been a big fan of the Von Erichs. And big fan of Lawler as well.
Sure.
And the AWA, because when over on the West Coast, if I remember right back then, we used to get the AWA a lot on ESPN.
Right, and I think the AWA ran a lot out in California as well. As a matter of fact, if I recall, one of the Super Clashes was out in the Cow Palace at one time.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
Right.
I want to say the second one.
Right, okay. The second one is with at the Cow Palace, so they would run out west quite a bit as well. Now, Kev, as I said, you're from Texas. What do you do? What do you do in Texas, buddy?
I am a rep for a major cell phone company, so I kind of go around. I have a certain market area.
Right.
And train and try to help sell the certain phone.
Well, as you know, everybody on the planet has a cell phone, so I would think business is pretty good.
Yeah, pretty darn good.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I was recently with the grandchildren at Disney, and it's amazing when you stand in line for these rides, how everybody is on their cell phone. It wouldn't have surprised me to see an infant on a cell phone eventually, but it was just amazing. But
gotta do something to pass the time.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. Well, listen, we appreciate you being out there. Appreciate you being with us on Patreon, and thanks a lot for recommending this match, because Conrad and I are looking forward to watching it with everyone. We're going to go back to the UIC Pavilion in Chicago, is where this was held. It's Jerry Lawler against Kerry Von Erich. Lawler's the AWA champion, and Kerry Von Erich is the world class champion. And it's for the unification of the title, and it's a very interesting ending to it, and we look forward to seeing it. Kev, as always, great talking to you, buddy. Thanks very much for everything you do for us.
Thanks for having me on. Let me pick the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett First Arcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Barton, Mid-South Joy World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off center stage, Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie, Matt, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch a long try not to laugh. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chair. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when?
WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
What's up, motherfuckers? Y'all listening to Patreon and shit. You already know the deal. It's time for that bonus action here on Patron. I'm here with the voice of our motherfucking childhood, Noah Anthony Schiavone. And we're going to be talking about Super Clash 3. The world champions are here. We've got in one corner, Jerry the King Lawler. And in the other corner, Kerry Von Erich, the modern day warrior. And both of the belts are on the line. And this is happening December 13th, 1988. Of course, in this era, the UWF and everybody else is no more. It's down to Jim Crockett Promotions, but Jim Crockett circling the drain and Turner's coming to bail him out. Meanwhile, Schiavone looking for a soft spot to land with the World Wrestling Federation and then limping along and dead last. Here we are. Super Clash with the AWA and I guess what's left of World Class. Is that right?
Yeah, what's left of World Class. Hi, Conrad. How are you today?
Oh, I thought you already introed everybody at the top, and we talked.
Oh, I did. I
introed.
I introed our buddy Big Kev from
Big
Texas.
Kev, what up,
Yep.
Texas?
Yes, sir, Big Kev. One of our friends, one of the guys who came all the way up from Texas to join us in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yay!
Yeah, Big Kev. He thought that this is one of his favorite matches of all time.
Well, he was a kid when he watched it because it's not a good match.
Right. I've read a lot about it, and I've read a lot about the aftermath about it. Why don't we just go ahead and roll through it, and then we'll talk about it then. You ready?
Man, I'm looking forward to this because I have a sneaking suspicion you've never actually seen it.
Of course I haven't.
It's just fascinating to me that you claim to be a wrestling fan, but you don't watch anything.
Well, here's the deal. I was a big wrestling fan before I got into wrestling. Then it became my job.
No, I hear you, buddy. Like, it's challenging, putting up with your shit every day or whatever.
You in one of those moods today? Get out of the goddamn mood you're in right now.
I'm not in a bad mood. I'm looking forward to this. Why are you being like this? Listen,
Here we go.
Here's the deal. If you're at home, fire it up. December 13th, 1988, Super Clash 3. We're going to go to 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 56 seconds. I'm going to give you that time code again because it's apparent Tony Schiavone has to pee and he needs to get through this as fast as he could. At his age, he pees a lot. 1 hour, 50 minutes, 56 seconds. Tony, count us down. And maybe what you should do is pluck one pubic hair as we go. Are you ready?
3, 2, 1, play. Well, this event, winner take all. And this was from the UIC Pavilion, by the way, in Chicago. And there's Gary Michael Capetta. How about Gary Capetta?
Love it. Big fan of Gary Michael Capetta. Big fan of everything he did, and have a sneaking suspicion we'll be seeing him soon.
Yeah. Al Lerner. Boy, he was really excited about being there, wasn't he? Al, where's the hard camera, you dumbass?
How about how thick the ropes are?
I know.
They're like Lord Alfred Hayes level thick.
That's right. And look how young the AWA champion is here. Wow. Jerry the King Lawler was AWA champion.
Ain't that some shit?
That is some shit, man. What a great performer.
We recently talked about this, but he was never really on my list. And I don't think I really appreciated him until recent years, but now he's top 10. Let's hear what he's saying here.
What's been said so many times before tonight. It's all come down to this. There should only be one world heavyweight champion, and after this match is over, there will be only one world heavyweight champion. And I understand that a lot of people out here, like Kerry Von Erich, I understand a lot of people that are watching, like Kerry Von Erich, and I'm going to tell you this. I got all the respect in the world for Kerry Von Erich myself. But I'll also tell you this, I'm going to beat Kerry Von Erich right here.
There he is, the king, Jerry Lawler.
Well, the fans here are firmly behind Kerry Von Erich. We've established at this point, as if it wasn't painfully obvious, that the king is our villain. And here we are at the UIC Pavilion. Of course, a capacity crowd here would have probably been like, I don't know, 10,000.
Yeah.
There's less than 1,700 fans here, which is why it's so dark.
What do you think of the AWA belt? Now, this was not the original one, was it, that Kerry had? Because the AWA belt was always...
Well, no, Jerry Lawler's wearing the AWA belt, and they had two.
Yeah.
They had what was called the inmate belt that Stan Hansen ran over with a truck. It was made in a prison.
Okay.
And then there is this one, which I think someone called the dinner plate belt. I could be wrong on that, but I think Lawler, I think there were two versions of this belt made and used. By the way, Kerry Von Erich has just stupidly cut himself on the bicep. So here's the backstory of this. He's so fucked up based on what I've heard. Of course, I wasn't there. I was 7, but he's in the back and he's so fucked up that he's got his blade taped to his finger because he's going to get color tonight. And he scratches his arm, not realizing or remembering that, oh shit, I have a razor blade there, slices the shit out of it.
Jesus.
So he's going to bleed everywhere, and they're going to have to call an audible. And, he's holding the yellow rose, because he's the yellow rose of Texas, by the actual petals. So you can't actually see it. It's just a green stick in his hand.
I noticed that.
So what he's got now, Jerry Jarrett, sorry, I got too many of those.
Okay.
He bought out what was left of World Class, and he's dealing with the kids, not Fritz at this point. And Fritz supposedly gave Jerry a warning, like, my boys are going to fuck this up. I just wanted you to know up front. And you see him fidgeting around. He's trying to explain, hey man, I just fucking cut myself. We're going to have to pretend like you got color on me on my arm real fast somehow, which is why he's so hesitant to take that robe off.
Jesus.
I mean, look at him though. He looks, I think you could argue that Kerry Von Erich is one of the, as Bruce would say, top 5 best bodies in the history of wrestling. And that's even without a leg.
Right.
When did you know that Kerry, didn't have a foot or whatever?
I can't remember the time, but I remember reading about it or hearing about it. And everybody was like,
look at him looking at his arm.
What did you do? You hurt my arm already. Actually, I like the look of this ring. I like the white.
It's going to show all the blood in a minute.
Yeah, sure does. And if I'm right, that's how this match ended, wasn't it? Too much blood?
So there you go. They're going to try to explain that just slamming his arm over the turnbuckle is what caused it to split in half and blood go everywhere. Boy, look at our referee. I don't think our referee is allowed near schools.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
No, I agree. I don't think he's allowed near schools. I don't think he would be,
he's probably
allowed
dead
shop
now,
balls,
by the way. Yeah.
He's probably registered.
Well, and if you're not registered for StarCast, you should be.
StarCast 4. Can you believe there's a StarCast 4 coming up? A StarCast fucking 4. And all of our fans on Patreon who listen to us each and every week, this is a bonus episode. We know you're going to be there.
Dude, you know, I mean, by now everybody knows the theme. I mean, how exciting is this going to be?
Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
I mean, we announced, right up front, not just Sting, but red, white, and blue Sting for the first time in decades. That's pretty cool, man. Like, do you know how hard it was for me to convince him to paint up red, white, and blue and put on the old American jacket and all that? And
I'm sure it was very difficult, but I'm sure money talks.
no, dude, it took 3 weeks. It wasn't about the money to him. He just didn't want to do it.
Right.
He's like, oh, people don't want that. I don't know. It'll be silly. I'm like, dude, when was the last time you did it? He's like, 90 something. Like, yeah, that's why they need it. We got to do it.
So he didn't understand how big nostalgia is with fans. Did
He
he?
didn't. What's funny is when I first had the idea, I told a wrestling promoter friend of ours, and he's like, what are you going to do for StarCast 4? And I pitched it, and he held his arm up and he said, I'm the most jaded dude ever. Cause he's been a promoter for 20 something years, but he held his arm up to show me the goosebumps, the chicken skin. He's like, if it's doing that to me, fans are going to be really excited.
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue, dude. Come on.
Red, white, and blue Sting.
Great American Bash 90. What a moment right there in Baltimore. It's awesome. Down goes Lawler. Lawler's got his work cut out for him in this one. He's got, you know, arguably the best body in wrestling, but here when he's, under the influence, a 10-cent brain, $1 million body, 10-cent brain.
Right. Here's the interesting story about this match, and the interesting story that I heard about, read about, and even Big Kev talked about it here right before we went on the air, you and I, that Lawler did not get paid for this match. Is that amazing or what?
Well, here's why he didn't get paid. There were 1,672 fans there. Nobody bought this on paper. It lost money.
Right.
Wikipedia says Super Clash 3 was very poorly received at the event and it was not a financial success, and Verne Gagne did not pay the visiting talent their share of the amount for their participation due to low buy rates. Many professional wrestling experts have considered the event to be the downfall of the AWA, as people refused to work for Gagne for breaking his promise of not paying the wrestlers. The most notable criticism came from Jerry Lawler, who was not paid, and Gagne ultimately stripped him of the title and buried him on AWA television. But listen, I'm not defending the promoter, but I am saying, dude, the AWA was fucking dead either way by this point. This is a Hail Mary effort to save the company. You know, at this point, he's up against Vince McMahon and Ted Turner, dude. It's over. I mean, I know it's not technically over. They're going to limp along a little longer, but I mean, Eric Bischoff worked there, and Eric Bischoff was making so much money, they were repossessing his cars out of the driveway.
Yeah. And I understand that.
Here's the thing that's most shocking about that to me. Can you believe there was a wrestling company that went out of business that you didn't work for?
Oh yeah. There's been a lot of them. As a matter of fact, I'm working for a brand new company right now that will never go out of business, and mark it down.
First Family Mortgage. All right. Time out. We got to take a break right now. I want to brag on something that I did to save some money. And you know, I love saving money. Well, how about this? I found out that there was, a lot of waste in my household. We signed up for a lot of stuff we never used once we went back to work. Remember at the start of the pandemic, man, we all signed up for like every streaming service in the world. I used to tell my wife, I feel like we've reached the end of TV. Well, it turns out that once we got going again, we don't watch or listen to any of that stuff anymore. So I signed up for something pretty cool. It used to be known as Truebill, and now it's Rocket Money. Let me explain. I was wasting money and I didn't even know it. Are you wasting money on subscriptions? Well, it turns out like 80% of people have subscriptions they just forgot about. Maybe for you, it's like an unused Amazon Prime account or a Hulu account that never gets streamed. Well, there's this great app that helps me keep track of it all, every one of my expenses like that. And because of it, I'm no longer wasting money on subscriptions I don't even use. Now, we're talking about Rocket Money, and I can't recommend it enough. This app shows you all of your subscriptions in one place, and it cancels what you don't want for you. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't even know you were paying for. You may even find out that you've been double charged for a subscription, and that was our circumstance. My wife signed up on her card, I signed up on mine. We were just using one account. We were paying twice for the same doggone thing. Now, to cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel. That's it. Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions with Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/WHW. Seriously, it can save you hundreds of dollars per year. That's rocketmoney.com/WHW. Oh no, probably talking about AEW.
AEW, buddy.
AEW. Are you excited, dude? By the time our patrons hear this, it'll probably be, AEW Eve or AEW Eve's Eve. I mean, we are just days away as we're taping this from the debut on TNT. Are you nervous, anxious, excited? Where are you at?
Well, I'm anxious and nervous. I can't believe I'm nervous. I've often said, and it's because it's true, that I've never, ever been nervous at all about doing anything, but I'm really nervous about this. And I think what made me nervous was the last Starcast we did, when I had so many people come up to me and say, I can't wait. You and JR are going to knock it out of the park, or some version of that. And it got to the point to where I'm thinking, oh my God, I better perform. Now I know there are going to be a lot of slapdicks. I'm sorry, I can't call them slapdicks. A lot of pieces of shit online who are going to bury what I and JR and Excalibur do. I get that. Everybody has their opinion. But I just hope I can, overall, the big picture, can live up to the expectations, because the expectations are high. They really are. And I've seen the format, and it's pretty damn exciting. It's a great show with great talent. I just hope the announcers can mesh. And it's going to be the first time that the three of us ever worked together, you know? So that's going to be difficult. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. I really am. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a new company. It's an exciting time for me. And thank you again.
For what?
For bringing me back into wrestling.
You motherfucker. You never belong to leave. I'm glad you're back where you belong, baby.
All right, baby. So what do you think about what's going on with this match so far? Nothing much, huh?
Well,
I think Lawler's doing a pretty good job of this. Obviously, he's calling the match. Don't know if by him calling the match, if the guy on the other end is actually listening to what he's saying,
or understands what he's saying.
Or understand. I guess that's a better way to put it. Understands what he's saying.
By the way, the undercard of this.
Yeah.
You had, Cactus Jack, Hector, Mondo, and Chavo Guerrero. The Rock and Roll RPMs, Jeff Jarrett, Eric Embry, Jimmy Valiant, Wayne Bloom, Iceman King Parsons, Brickhouse Brown, Wendy Richter, Bad Company, which is Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka, Medusa Michelli, Diamond Dallas Page, Greg Gagne, Ron Garvin, Bambi, Luna Vachon, Sergeant Slaughter, Colonel De Beers, the Samoan SWAT team, Buddy Roberts, Michael Hayes, Steve Cox, Wahoo McDaniel, Manny Fernandez, and the main event here, well, what goes on last, the Rock and Roll Express against the Stud Stable, which is Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden. So a lot of old school talent, and fans just weren't into it. It felt minor league. It felt second best.
December of '88, I guess the Rock and Roll Express, that's 2 years removed from them being red hot with Jim Crockett Promotions.
It's crazy how fast the Rock and Roll Express went from top of the heap to not so much.
Right. 2 years.
How much of that is just, here's what I struggle with on that. Like, sometimes guys get really hot for a short period of time, and it's just because of the booking. And I know people get tired of me saying this, but like Goldberg, for instance, Goldberg was super hot because of the booking, not because he was like this badass performer, not because he put on incredible matches that people wanted to see. It was just the booking. But the Rock and Roll Express, they know how to put on badass matches. Were they sort of their own worst enemy politically? Did they have a bad attitude that I've never heard about? Were they, really snorting mountains worth? What was going on?
Well, the only thing I can think of is that the taste, wrestling taste started to change. In other words, the white lead baby face, popular with the 12-year-old girls, was not so popular with wrestling fans anymore. That's what I think. I just think that all of a sudden that they, in the mid '80s, they were everything for the young girls, 12-year-old girls, and that was it. And 2 years later, those 12-year-old girls were 14, 15, 16. And the regular wrestling fan, like the guys, they didn't like that rock and roll shit. They didn't like that. They just didn't like the white meat baby face type thing. And maybe I'm wrong. I just thought the taste of what the wrestling fan wanted changed. I don't ever remember Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson being difficult to work with, or hearing that they were difficult to work with as far as promoters are concerned. Never heard that. But Buddy, in '86, wow, were they hot. And then again, a lot of that was because they had such great matches with the Midnight Express. And when that ran its course, was there anybody to have such great matches with anymore?
Right.
They couldn't have the same matches with Ivan and Nikita. They would have some good matches, but not the actually burn the house down type matches that they had with the Midnight Express. So a lot of things go into that. But I just remember a time when I heard some boos for the Rock and Roll Express.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember thinking, what's going on here? And all of a sudden it got to I realized, well, the boos were because, God, look at Kerry bleed, would you? Holy shit.
Dude, it's crazy the amount of blood we're going to see in this one.
Yeah. I remember thinking, I get it. The guys in the audience are booing because these guys are the favorites for the young girls.
You really think so?
Yeah. I really do.
All right.
That was my feeling at that time.
You ain't got to get hot about it.
Yeah. Hey, there was a time David Pinter said it best. And I don't know when he said this. This had to be back in the 90s. But they got the Iron Claw on. Holy shit, is this match coming to an end? David Pinter said it best when he said that it used to be that you'd go out of the back door and everybody waiting on you would be the girls, right?
Now it's all dudes.
Now it's all dudes. So the wrestling fan changed back then.
Here's what's amazing to me. You just popped and said, "Oh God, look at the Iron Claw." Dude, he's giving him a fucking belly rub. And you're over here acting like it's some devastating finish.
It's the Iron fucking Claw, motherfucker.
This is the dumbest shit I ever did see. By the way, we should give you some frame of reference. In December of 88, this is also when we see Ric Flair and Lex Luger main event Starrcade.
Wow.
We should mention Michael Hayes, after this match, very quickly realizes, well, this sucks, and re-signs with the NWA, which is why we saw him do commentary with you, or JR rather, in 89.
All right. God, he is just. Was the finish of this going to be stopping because of blood, or that they just finally said we need to stop this?
Well, I mean, don't you want to see what the finish is?
Well, the finish is they stop it because of blood.
Yeah, it's a referee stoppage. If you know, then why'd you ask?
Well, I want to know if it's a shoot or a work here.
Oh, fucking work. Are you kidding? At this point, there's 1,600 fans in the audience. They don't give a damn about
the Iron Claw. The Iron Claw's on the head, Conrad. Look at, he almost picked him up with it.
That was cool. I'll give you that. That was cool.
All right. God. Well, here's this: if they didn't stop Dustin and Cody at Double or Nothing, they won't stop any match because of blood. I'd never seen so much, and this is on par with that. But I'd never seen so much blood in that match.
Wade Keller would write, the Superclass buy rate seems to have panned out at 0.7%, less than 1%. It did great in Tennessee with a reported buy rate of 4%, while Texas was blacked out due to technical problems, which had the potential to be their second biggest market for pay-per-view. Now all of that money will have to be refunded. The show's getting mixed reviews, as are the matches. No one thought it was the best pay-per-view event of the year, and no one expected it to be. While I haven't heard anyone say it was the worst either, which many thought it would be. Right now, the AWA is trying to determine the direction it wants to move in 89. Verne Gagne is still in control, and Bob Rusin, Dale Gagne, Bob Ryan, Ray Stevens, and Greg Gagne are the top brass.
Hate to say this, but I'm just not so sure. And I'm saying this from afar. Nothing that I know. I'm just not so sure how good of businessmen the Gagnes were.
Oh, dude, fuck off with that.
What?
How long was the AWA around?
I'm talking about I'm just not so sure.
Well, here's what I'm not so sure of. That Greg Gagne was able to adapt. I think times were changing. He wanted to still promote wrestling like it was the good old days.
I think we're saying the same thing.
And it caught up. Well, but here's the thing. You can be a great businessman and just get old.
Right.
You know, like you were a good commentator and then you got old, you know?
Right. Right. And you were a nice, young, skinny, fine young man.
I was never skinny.
Okay. Well, you were a nice young man from Huntsville, Alabama that everybody liked. And now you're just a miserable old piece of shit. And I get that. Things change. But you got to change with the times. And I think we're saying the same thing that Greg and thus Verne didn't change with the times.
You're hurtful today.
Me?
Yeah. You're being very rude, inconsiderate, hurtful.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, there you go. He keeps hitting him with a foreign object. What the fuck's going on here?
Dude, he's bleeding like a stuck pig. It's great.
Yeah. This is Frank Dusek. I knew Wally very, very well before he passed away. And I had met Frank too.
Wade would write, I understand a new belt is being made for Jerry Lawler as the WCWA and AWA titles are being unified into one. Jerry Jarrett is the one in charge, and it looks more like CWA and WCWA will become one. This new belt presents a problem in that Verne still wants a world belt for his territory. We'll have to wait and see how the situation develops.
Kind of an odd time for wrestling, wasn't it, back then?
Feels a lot like now.
Does it really?
Yeah, to me. So let's talk about this. WWF back then would be WWE now. And AEW back then, or now, the WCW / NWA back then would be AEW now. And this AWA working with the USWA and WCWA. So Memphis and Texas and all working together with the AWA. That feels like that would be like Ring of Honor and the NWA.
See, I don't agree with that at all. And let me tell you why. Because I think the feeling was back then is that there's the WWE and WCW. I'm not so sure that there was much of a want for another wrestling promotion like there is now. I think the fans are really wanting something else now. And obviously the fans back then didn't want anything else.
They sold 200 tickets last night at Ring of Honor, or 2 nights ago at Ring of Honor. I don't want to fucking hear that there's another thirst. No, there's not. Nobody's clamoring for a Ring of Honor show.
Well,
and they sold all those tickets to MSG when they thought they had the Elite. And then when they didn't, it became a New Japan show. I think the world of Kerry Silken. Oh, look, there's a ref stoppage. He's saying that's it. And the fans and the crowd think it's it because of the claw, but no, he's stopping it because.
Wow. This is from Flair and Luger, isn't it?
Dude, that's what I was saying. It's the same month, man.
Right.
Referee blood stoppage, exact same month. At least Kerry. I mean, here's what you're talking about too. The consummate worker is in the submission of the other guy, and the other guy is the body guy in the territory, but can't work a lick, and he's got color, and they're going to stop it. I mean, it's identical to Kerry. I mean, identical to Luger and Flair.
Yeah, it is.
By the way, though, the Ring of Honor comparison where you got big arenas and nobody's there, that's what we're looking at right here.
Yeah.
And time's passed them by. You look at what's happening this next Wednesday. Half the fucking roster worked for Ring of Honor on top, and now they're not there. It's just like the AWA. You look at all the talent that you had in the AWA that left to go make some real money. Same.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not so sure about the comparison with, well, I guess in many ways I was more like the comparison of the AEW and WCW back in that day. I think AEW has a lot more going for it than WCW did back in the day.
Then what could you compare it to? And what else did they need than a billionaire that could give them TV? Cause that's the comparison I see.
Right.
And even though he didn't win, he's leaving with both the belts, the bastard.
So now there's more confusion than ever before.
I mean, if you're one of the handful, the few dozen fans in the crowd, look at all those empty seats on the right.
Yeah.
You gotta be real confused. And boy, old Pee Wee Herman here. If Pee Wee Herman fucked Steve Buscemi and be this referee.
There's your winner. Oh, look at Lee Marshall.
Gosh, look at him. Well, that wasn't great. By the way, Lawler, top 10 all time for me now.
Yep. Me too.
It's so amazing that I've just come around to that though, because, I've got some friends who grew up in Memphis and of course they think Lawler's God. And I've always just kidded them because I just wasn't a Lawler guy. But now that I've actually seen enough, I'm like, okay, I was wrong. Who would have thought, by the way, and I mean this not disrespectful, but who would have thought, by the way, when you look at this match and you see the physiques of both guys and just, you take a look at Kerry Von Erich, you take a look at Jerry Lawler, who would have thought that Lawler would have been the one who would work for Vince for decades? Like, you know, Vince having a reputation as a body guy.
Right.
You just assume, man, Kerry's going to be the top guy over there.
Right. But also, I think, you know, God, Vince had an eye for talent, and Lawler. To me, okay, of all the great stuff that Jerry Lawler did throughout his career and continues to do throughout his career, to me, where Lawler is best known on nationwide level is obviously with JR.
Yeah.
As part of that.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about some stuff with you this week on our regular show.
All right.
And look, you see Kerry Von Erich. Let's play the audio here.
I don't know if it was the referees or what, but I've never heard of a match in the state of Texas or anywhere else in the whole world where they stop the match because somebody's cut up too bad or whatever. The main point I'm trying to make is, Jerry Lawler, you were down with the iron claw. You were down for at least, you're probably still down right
Kerry,
now.
let's take a look at the replay. You'll be able to see it on the monitor over here. Now, I think you're going to be able to talk over this, Kerry, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. And we will see exactly what happened. All right, Kerry, describe what's going on.
Well, right now I'm counting.
So what do you think of this? You know, he's doing his own promo, and they're showing him a replay where he's got Lawler pinned for as long as he wants, and the ref's not there. I mean, Dusty's not here, but this feels like a super Dusty finish, does it not?
Yes, it is. It's what it is.
You gonna talk?
Yeah, I thought we were still listening to them talk.
No, we're not. What do you think about old Larry Nelson here? Do you ever work with Larry?
Never worked with Larry, but he was way over the top. Ridiculous, wasn't he?
I liked him. You know, ultimately that's the reason Bischoff got a job, is Larry got locked up for another DUI, and they let the sales guy hold the stick, and fast forward, he saw an opportunity and he took your birthright to run WCW away from you.
It wasn't my birthright.
Well, for the purposes of my story, you know.
Oh, I know that, and that's Stanley Blackburn over on the right, but damn, doesn't it look like Stan Lee? You know who Stan Lee is?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
He used to draw cartoons, right?
Yes, he did.
I heard about him.
Okay.
He drew like a guy who like shot webs. Not me though. I shoot ropes. And on that note, I think we're winding it down. I enjoyed visiting this, world title unification match from Super Clash 3. It's a deep cut, man, a deep cut. And one of the first times we've watched any associated Memphis or AWA stuff here on the show. So great recommendation. Glad we got to do something a little different here today.
Thank you, Big Kev. We still have, don't forget, during the month of September, 2 bonus podcasts here on What Happened When. And this one is exclusively on
Patron. Big Kev. All right, y'all, listen up. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25x my money this football season. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. And Prize Picks really is simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Here's a heads up too: quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. And this week, I'm making sure that I know all the details. Unfortunately, we know that Aaron Rodgers won't be playing. So you can go ahead and maybe select Patrick Mahomes. Is he going to go ahead and have more than 2 touchdowns? Or is Saquon Barkley going to have more than 60 yards? See, you get to decide, is there going to be more? Is there going to be less? That's it. Like Odell Beckham Jr. Is he going to have more than 50 yards? What about Josh Allen? Is my man going to have more than 2 passing touchdowns this week? That's it. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you just watch the winnings roll in. It's that simple. By the way, Prize Picks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts, like Taco Tuesday. You see, each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25%. That gives you even more value. And also, I want you to know that Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay. That makes it quick and easy to get your deposits on football this season. And you guys know I'm a big college football guy, but I'll tell you what, This makes watching the NFL so much more fun. I'm invested in every week, every game. It's super fun. You're going to love it. Go right now to prizepicks.com/WHW and use the code WHW for a first deposit match up to $100. Seriously, y'all, PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. You're going to want to do this. Go right now to prizepicks.com/WHW and use the code WHW for a first match deposit of up to $100. You're going to love it. Check it out. PrizePicks.com/WHW.
Another bonus podcast for September of 2019. And we have on the line our very good buddy, Shawn Jones. What's up, Shawn?
Not much, Tony. How you doing?
How are you, man? Thanks for being with us here today, and thanks for your suggestion. We're going to take you back to the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. How about that? What a suggestion, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Talk about it. The match that you wanted us to watch together is going to be Shawn Michaels against The Undertaker, which I guess is one of the more famous matches ever in WrestleMania history. Is that right?
To me, this is my all-time favorite match.
And why is that?
This is the two legends that I grew up watching. I remember watching The Undertaker when he first came into WWE and going, oh yeah, this guy's going to be something.
Right.
And then, I mean, Shawn Michaels is legit the first wrestler I ever saw in the ring, going back to like 1987. So he's always been my number one favorite. And then you combine him with Undertaker, and I mean, that's putting peanut butter and chocolate together.
Right. And then you combine that with the WrestleMania stage, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. An unforgettable night. So we're going to go back and take a look at that. And do you think, Conrad and I talk about this a lot on our podcast. Is Shawn Michaels the greatest worker ever?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think a lot of people believe so.
I mean, if he's not the greatest, he's 1A and Ric Flair is 1B.
Right.
I mean, it's a coin toss.
Right. So let's see. That was WrestleMania 25. Do you remember where you watched that? Can you go back?
Probably sitting on my couch at home.
Okay. All right. Very good. That's where most people watch it. So nothing special. I thought, well, I was at a big party and we were all drunk and we were going, yay!
Yeah, no, I was probably chilling. It was probably just me and the wife.
Okay, well, good. And your wife watches wrestling with you?
She does. She did, then she didn't. And then AEW happened, and she's all about watching wrestling again.
Well,
so
God bless her. God bless your
also,
wife, Shawn.
your podcast doesn't hurt either. She's a big fan of that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And she likes our podcast, even though Conrad Thompson has a toilet tongue?
Absolutely.
Oh, God. All right. Well, my best to her. Shawn, tell us actually what I know you help us out at StarCast. You're like main man number one at StarCast, but tell us what else you do.
I work for Guitar Center.
Oh, man. So you can get me a deal on microphones.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I told Conrad 3 weeks ago, you guys need anything, hit me up. I got you.
Well, by golly, I will hit you up, as a matter of fact.
And that goes for any of our slapdick podcasters. You guys need gear, hit your boy up. I'll take care of you.
You got it, Shawn. All right, Shawn Jones wants us to watch it wasn't the last match on the card, but many people feel it was the main event of WrestleMania 25th anniversary, WrestleMania 25, and this will be Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker going one-on-one. So we look forward to calling the match, Shawn. We appreciate all you've done for us, man. Not only here as being a low-key big hog, but also at StarCast. We appreciate it. You really do. And thanks so much. All our best to your wife as well. And we hopefully you'll enjoy this commentary, okay?
Mm-hmm. Thanks for picking my episode.
All right. That's Shawn Jones, and it's time for our WrestleMania episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett First Arcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Barton, Mid-South Joy World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off, center stage, Bischoff. Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch a long time, not too left. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make him chant. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when? WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Welcome to Patreon. It's bonus show time.
It's bonus show time. Conrad and Tony together. Bonus show. You know who picked this match?
I do not.
Our good buddy, Shawn Jones.
Shawn Jones! Who? Shawn Jones! Who? Shawn Jones!
Shawn, one of the real MVPs of StarCast.
Oh, without question.
Yep.
Shawn Jones is one of the things that make that thing possible, and we appreciate his patronage here on Patreon as well. And we're fired up to cover this one because this is unanimously considered one of the best matches of all time. And Tony, you've never seen The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. Isn't that right?
That's right. But why? Why is it considered one of the best matches of all time?
Because it's
what
good.
Makes it great? The storyline, the workers, the finish, the fan response. Come on. What is it?
The wrestling.
The wrestling. It always gets back to the wrestling, doesn't it?
It does. And, you know, I guess the real question I have is you haven't seen it. Why? As someone who claims to be a wrestling fan.
Oh, so would you stop that bullshit again? Stop it.
Why didn't you watch WrestleMania? I get maybe you didn't see Super Clash 3. All right. This is WrestleMania. Oh. Why didn't you watch that? Even when I wasn't watching wrestling, I'd still watch WrestleMania.
You would?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I'd invite some buddies over. We'd crack open a couple cases of them light beers. Then we'd start throwing lariats at each other. Then we'd hit the pay window with some pizza.
Bunch of fucking rednecks.
Old Manser.
Hey, so, you know, April 5th, 2009, I was getting ready to start my Gwinnett Braves career. That's why.
Well, how'd that shit work out?
11 years. Only play-by-play guy they've ever had, but I've given it up. So it worked out great. Didn't make much money, but it worked out great.
Are they going to replace you, or will they just let the robots do it?
They're replacing me. They got Dave Lizotte, good guy who's doing it. And I'm pretty excited about him. But enough about baseball.
Yes, let's get to the show. WrestleMania 25, April 5th, 2009. Find it on your WWE network. I'm at 152.32. That's where I'm at. I'm at 1 hour, 52 minutes and 32 seconds. And we've already missed the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels package that sort of told the story of how we got here. We should tell you, before we press play here, that the prior WrestleMania, Mr. WrestleMania, which is Shawn Michaels' nickname, he retired the Nature Boy Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24. So how can you top beating the greatest of all time and knocking him out and sending him into retirement? Well, you face the dead man. And, this is going to be quite the entrance, quite the match. The entire presentation, I think you'll be impressed with at 152.32. If you want to give us a countdown, or if you want to, wake old Nub up, we'll make it happen.
Wake old Nub up. Now I'll give you the countdown in 3, 2, 1, play.
So how about the story? Heaven and Hell, Shawn Michaels coming down from the heavens dressed in all white.
Well, you can't beat these entrances. I got to give them that. You can't beat them. Just shows you how much money the company was making back then and it is today. That's pretty fucking impressive, isn't it?
It's unbelievable is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Like, even if you're not a wrestling fan, like my mom hates wrestling, but if I took my mom to this show and she saw this happening, she'd be like, my God, look at this. The presentation is off the charts. There's nothing else in sports or entertainment like it, like from a live perspective.
No, you're right.
It's the granddaddy of them all. WrestleMania. Shut up, Kevin Sullivan. Get back in there and watch the Red Sox.
Red Sox are playing their last, as we record this, playing their last game of the season today. Wee, wee, wee. Enough about that. Just, again, sometimes, Conrad, as you know, the entrance does not, or the entrance overshadows the match, but apparently this time it's not.
No, not here. Look at the crowd. Now, here's what I want you to know about Shawn. You may not know this. He's just a sexy boy. He's not your boy toy. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I'm glad you told me.
Which part didn't you know?
Dad, he's
just a sexy boy.
That he's not my boy toy.
He's not. So you need to stop it. Do you think he's cute?
Yeah, he's a very sexy guy.
So you know he's sexy. Do you think he has the looks?
The looks?
That drives the girls wild.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think he has the moves that really send chills up and down their spine?
Yes, I do.
Do you think he makes them hot?
Yeah, I understand he does.
Do you think he makes them shiver?
Probably.
Do you think their knees get weak whenever he's around?
Probably so.
Do you think they see him walk?
See him walk, yeah.
Do you think they hear him talk?
Yes, probably. That's probably why he's called the Heartbreak Kid, right?
Do you think that he makes them feel like they're on cloud nine?
I don't know what being on cloud nine would be, but he possibly could.
Well, eat your heart out, girls. Hands off the merchandise.
17-0. Now that would be for the Undertaker, right?
Yes.
Who'd never lost a WrestleMania match.
Correct.
What's his 16-1?
Well, the Undertaker's stretch at this point is 16-0.
Oh.
And the fans who are Shawn Michaels fans think that after tonight, Undertaker's record will be 16-1. And the Undertaker fans are holding up signs because they believe at the end of the night, the Undertaker's record will be 17-0.
Got it. You know what I like about this match already?
There's stakes.
No, I like the ring announcer, Justin Roberts.
How about the referee? They had a lot of choices when it came to referee.
Right.
And they picked a guy who eats bologna biscuits.
You like bologna biscuits?
Nope. Only rednecks eat bologna biscuits.
Well, have you ever tried a bologna biscuit?
Not gonna.
Don't shit on it until you try it.
Fuck you. I'm not eating bologna biscuits.
Hey, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Just recently at Disney with the grandkids. Okay.
Oh, here we go. Here, hashtag humble brag. Got that AEW money, taking the whole family to Disney.
No. This was already booked long before. Oh, I got to watch this first, man.
How about that? So
Coming up from hell.
Exactly. That's kind of fucking cool, isn't it?
That is fucking cool. I think that if you talk about, we always talk about our Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, our Mount Rushmore of workers, but of our Mount Rushmore of gimmicks, this is number one.
Undertaker?
Yep. There's been no better gimmick in wrestling.
How great is it too, though, if you really think about it? If anybody else had this character, would it have worked?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's imagine for a minute they give this to Barry Darsow.
Right.
I don't think it's working this well. Right guy, right idea, right time, right place.
Yep.
And he had to make it work. He had to put in the time, but he did. Shit's awesome. I'm sorry I can't read you his lyrics. That he doesn't have lyrics in this theme song.
Okay. but you can say rest in peace if you like. So anyway, I wanted to notice this entrance, which is spectacular.
Anyway, I was back at Disney.
Okay, no, look, we booked Disney long before I signed with AEW.
I'm just busting balls. Why are you so sensitive today?
Yeah, but I'm a sensitive type of guy.
Okay, got it. Sorry, my apologies.
So anyway, we go to Epcot, and they had the food and wine festival going on, and you stop by different countries and different places to sample their food. And do you know what they had at the Hawaii exhibit? What food you could sample?
King's Hawaiian bread.
No. Teriyaki Spam hash.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It apparently is a big delicacy in Hawaii.
Shut up.
Teriyaki Spam hash.
Just making shit up.
No, I'm not. It was wonderful. Oh,
you ate it.
Of course I did. I ate 2 helpings.
That explains how you've been married to Lois this long.
It was wonderful. So anyway, enough for that story.
Gag a maggot.
Yeah, not gag a maggot. Go to Epcot and have a good time, man.
Fuck off. I'm never going to Epcot.
You'd never go to Disney, would you?
I've been, and I hated it.
You see, why would you hate it?
Well, just being contrarian. It was fine.
It was wonderful. It's wonderful.
Well, it's great if you're a kid.
And I am a kid.
I know.
Okay. Pretty good WrestleMania match coming up here. Woo, take a look at this.
Are you okay?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. This is AEW week, buddy. This is it. Countdown is on.
Oh God, this is about to be fucking grilling JR this week with you. I can tell already.
Oh, is that how JR was?
God damn. Everything we talk about on grilling JR. So Ahmed Johnson here was injured, but he's playing with injuries. That's right, Connix. That's what you got to do. And them boys at AEW, they know. You know, you're gonna have to play hurt. And they're planning to do that every Wednesday right there on TNT. Going to start at about 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It's like, God damn it. Can we just talk about Ahmed Johnson for a minute?
That's JR, buddy.
I mean, I appreciate that, you know, he's shilling and he's selling. Lord knows that I am a professional shiller and salesperson. But every now and again, let's just slip in a little bit of the old shit that, you know, we advertised. Just a little bit. So, by the way, this is Bruce Pritchard's first WrestleMania that he had to sit in the crowd and watch.
Oh my God.
He was fizz-ired the prior November. They're in his hometown of Houston, and his friends wanted to take their kids and demanded that Bruce go, and Bruce wouldn't go. And then finally they all convinced him just to go. So he sat in the crowd like a Mickey Mark and watched, and was obviously filled with emotions that this is something he's supposed to be a part of and has been for 2 decades. And now he's wearing a ball cap trying to look like a fan.
That's a sad story. I say it's a sad story because Bruce Pritchard belongs in the WWE.
Yeah. And he's there now.
Yeah, he sure is.
Making shit happen. And this next week, Eric Bischoff and him are going to make wrestling history when wrestling returns to broadcast television on Fox. Can you believe that there is a wrestling show on Fox? Forget that it's WWE for a minute. Isn't that fucking kind of unbelievable?
Well, you know what I think? I think it's just the beginning.
What does that mean?
I think that it's going to help push wrestling into the mainstream. And I think from there on, other networks are going to look at it and say, why not? I mean, look, they got bullshit shows on network TV. They do. They have bullshit shows on network TV that draw a good number. Why not pro wrestling? Pro wrestling is not what it used to be. It's not the old smoky gymnasiums and the rednecks wanting to believe it. It's different.
How about that? Shawn Michaels playing possum, acting like he hurt his knee. Gave him a false sense of security. Undertaker makes the charge in and just Lou Thesz presses him, ground and pound. Let's go.
Do you think that because, and listen, you got to give the WWE a lot of this credit. Wow. Look at these, man. Look at these blows from the Undertaker. Man.
Look at the way Shawn's selling it. That's the magic.
Right.
Shawn is 1A or 1B, no matter what.
Yeah. And that's what, Sean Jones and I were talking about before we rolled this tape. 1A or 1B, same thing. But Yeah, I mean, he's selling it, but the Undertaker really knows how to throw a working punch, too. What was I talking about? Oh, do you think that TNT would ever want wrestling back on ever again if it wasn't wrestling was so popular and so hot and has the potential to draw so many numbers? Of course not. So the time is right. And the time is right for the WWE or whomever to be on network TV. And I just hope it succeeds. It's good for all of us.
Yeah.
And don't go telling me, no, it's you don't want them to succeed because it's a war. Bull fucking shit. You are wrong. Now, they may not want AEW to succeed, but we want them to succeed. I know they don't want us to succeed.
How great does it feel to say us?
It feels wonderful.
Shawn Michaels is going to put on a performance of a lifetime here today.
Well, so far, so good. God, look at that, man. Look at the crowd. Just absolutely amazing.
What do you think of the way this arena, this stadium is lit? Shut up, Kevin.
Kevin liked it. He was answering your question there. He went, yep, good. I like the way it's lit.
I know you're big on the presentation and the way they've got the whole crowd lit and just the lights throughout the space. I figured you would be into that.
Yeah. Can you just imagine what the cost of all this? Not talking about paying the wrestlers, talking about the entrances, the staging, the lights. How much? It was millions of dollars just for that. It would have to be. Undertaker doing a hell of a job selling here as well, man.
Oh yeah. These guys are tearing it up, man.
Did I ever tell you that we knew back then when there was a mean Mark Callis, he was going to be a big star? We all talked about that. That Mark Callis could do a lot of great shit. I mean, he used to walk the top rope, and I knew he did, as the Undertaker. But look at that, man. He just forced the figure four on. Didn't spin it, just forced it on. But we all knew he'd be a big star. Didn't know that he'd become the Undertaker, but we just all knew he would be a big star.
Who do you think is the next Undertaker as far as longevity?
As far as longevity is concerned.
Not doing a paranormal dead person gimmick, but longevity in the business at a top level.
Well, I would say AJ Styles. I think.
Well, AJ had a lot of top years. A lot of his prime years were spent in another organization, not really in the spotlight. I mean, yeah, he may have been the top guy in TNA, but that's not like being the top guy in the WWE. Who in the WWE now do you think that's a young upstart, maybe a few years into their career?
Wow. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that.
I mean, that's what they're going to have to look for, is these heritage guys that you saw them as a kid. And then one day you took your kid to see them.
Is there one out there now?
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. That's the question.
I know a lot of people really think that Velveteen Dream is going to be a next level guy.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't seen enough of him to know.
Would Randy Orton be considered that?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's been around for quite a while.
Yeah. Kofi Kingston. I know Kofi Kingston, WWE champion, but I think when you think of Kofi, you still think of New Day more than you think of him. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. All All right, Tony, I got a reminder for everybody. Cold turkey might be great on sandwiches. Actually, it is. But there is a better way to break your bad habits. Now, we're not talking about some sort of weird mind voodoo from your crazy neighbor or somebody who eats parking lot panties like our pal Klondike Bill. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume. And you see, they look at the problem in a different way. You know, not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? Well, Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural, delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy, and it makes replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial, and it's designed with movable parts and magnets for your fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety when you're breaking your bad habit. And I have to admit, I wasn't too sure about this, but my wife, man, she absolutely loved the taste. The very first time she tried it, she told me it was much more flavorful than she thought, and it feels very fresh. They've got a ton of great flavors. Her favorite, hands down, is crisp mint. I recommend you check that one out. She also tells me it's well weighted, perfectly balanced, and it's just fun to fidget with. Gives her something to do with her hands, like Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights, right? It's also pretty cool to look at. It's beautiful, real wood. It's got a fun shape. I don't know, man. It's just a cool vibe. But here's the deal. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard. But switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has over 100,000 customers and thousands of success stories, and there's no reason that can't be you too. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com and use the code WHW to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use the code WHW and you'll save an additional 10% off your order today. Head right now to tryfume.com/WHW and use the code WHW to save an additional 10% off your order today. All right, guys, let's talk about mental health. Mental health is increasingly important and something none of us really like to address. But I got a question for you. Are you feeling stuck? Or does your mind have you dressing sharp but feeling dull? Perhaps it's time to talk to a life coach. Well, meet fellow ad-free show supporter and a wrestling fan, Steve, from A Damn Healthy Dose of Coaching. Steve is a certified ADHD life coach, and getting you unstuck is what he does, period. Working together, he'll come up with strategies and provide you with the tools you need to set you on the way. To learn more, visit damnhealthydose.com. That's DAMN healthydose.com, or just email steve@damnhealthydose.com. That's STEEV@damnhealthydose.com for a free 30-minute consultation. Be sure to mention WHW, and Steve will provide you with your first 2 sessions for free if you decide that life coaching is a fit for you. Don't wait. If you're feeling stuck, visit damnhealthydose.com. I still think the big star in New Day is going to wind up being Big E.
Oh, I think it should be.
Man, Shawn Michaels, when he wants to, he can make your ass look like $1 million. Who's a better seller? Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Dolph Ziggler, Mr. Perfect.
Wow, that's difficult for me to say because I haven't seen that many Shawn Michaels or Mr. Perfect matches, but
they're the 4 horsemen of selling.
Okay, from what I'm seeing here, it's Shawn Michaels. You know, one of the keys to holds like this was was your facial expression when you're putting it on.
Right.
So he's grimacing, he's tightening up his jaw as Shawn Michaels right now, and he may not really be putting that much pressure on the neck, but it looks like he is just the way he is, his facial expressions. That's something Ole Anderson taught me. He put a full arm drag and twist on me one day, and it was real light. And he said, "See, that doesn't hurt, doesn't it?" He said, "But when I grimace, when I tighten up my jaws, when I make it look, and your facial reactions make it look worse than it is." And I thought that was one of the real magics of pro wrestling. I'll just look at Shawn, and that's making it just good stuff. Right now, I don't know how many minutes we are into this. I guess we're about, 10, 20 minutes into this? 20 minutes into this. I can tell right now why it's one of the best matches ever. Because these two guys on this big stage realize it, and they are working their ass off here. Wow. Sometimes we make jokes. We go, yeah, we make dick jokes. We can't hear that now, though, can we? Just got to watch it and love it.
This is, it's really hard on a really good match like this. Here comes the kip up. If I've seen a Shawn Michaels match, he's going to kip up out of that. Usually they're doing the double down count. There it is. Whenever Shawn does that flying deal there and falls like that, you can always count on that's the way it nips up or whatever.
Bet you JR and Jerry Lawler were kicking it into high gear here too, man.
I think you might be disappointed. Let's see what they're saying here.
Michaels doubling up his offense here tonight. 2 inverted atomic drops.
Much more physical than we've seen Shawn Michaels in recent weeks.
You know what, guys? I think we just have to face it. Shawn
Michael Cole, the third man on the call here. So okay. JR, Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler. It's my new way of saying his last name, by the way, too. Lawler.
Wow. Well, missed that. That's all right. Missed a hold like that. They didn't stop. They didn't slow down at all, or missed a move like that. A lot of realism in this match, Conrad.
Dude, that's the fun thing about it is, they're not, they're doing all the classic shit, but they're doing it in a way where it tells the story. It doesn't feel like it's a routine.
Right.
Tremendous match. I'll pull up, Meltzer's recap. I think you'll be pretty pleased. The show, by the way, got 52.8% thumbs up, but unanimously, the Money in the Bank match got 8 best match poll votes. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels got 543.
Wow.
So no comparison as to what they thought the best match was. Meltzer would give this match 4 3/4 stars.
Whoa. What prevented it from oh my God.
Meltzer would say, this will certainly place high in the match of the year balloting and probably win because of the stage it's on. Even if there's a better match, the odds are extreme that any match will get more votes. Lots of dueling chants and the crowd was standing for much of the match. Undertaker got the biggest reaction of the show, except for Austin. Michaels, then he just sort of recaps the match. The match had super heat, and their sense of making every move mean something was really spectacular. 4 3/4 stars.
Yeah. Making every move mean something. That was the difference.
Here's what's crazy too. This is not the main event.
I know.
After this, they'll have 3 more matches: John Cena, Edge, and Big Show in a 3-way. Then the Hall of Fame inductions. I guess just one more match: Triple H and Randy Orton. which by the way, only got 2.5 stars.
Yeah. This is your main event.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I guess the most time too. They go 30 minutes in this match. You weren't watching wrestling at the time, but you probably remember that Chris Jericho was jaw jacking with the guy who was in The Wrestler.
Yeah. Mickey O'Rourke.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were supposed to have a match here, and instead he got cold feet. So they had Jericho beat up a bunch of old timers named Ricky Steamboat, Roddy Piper, and Jimmy Snuka. That's a little known fact, but Jericho actually murdered Roddy Piper and Jimmy Snuka in that match. They're no longer with us. They just died right there in the ring.
There's the setup from the dead man. People pop on that.
Always. Now here's what's cool though. Undertaker can do some shit.
Right.
You've seen enough Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW, you know what's coming.
Yep.
The dive, but they pulled a cameraman in and you see the Undertaker's sweat mark on the mat.
Yeah.
Cause the cameraman did not get in the way to save him. And instead the Undertaker just fell on his fucking head.
That was a wrestler they used there too, I think, wasn't it?
My God. Yes.
I mean, okay, I get it, but what was the name of this wrestler?
Jib Jobber cameraman number 42.
Oh, no. He had a name. I mean, they actually used him at some time. I don't know if it was before or after or Independence, but wasn't he a Snuka?
I didn't see who it was, dude.
Okay.
But yes, it was Snuka, who had worked as a cameraman for Utah Television, was disguised as a WWE cameraman.
Yeah, this spot was missed. Holy shit.
The son of Superfly.
Okay, there you go. I knew I'd read that somewhere. I maybe I read it on Wikipedia. I don't know.
So let me tell you what Meltzer would say about this.
All right.
Undertaker then went for his big running dive over the top, but Michaels moved. They had a catcher planted at ringside under the guise of a cameraman who had to hold the camera, drop it, and then catch him. He didn't quite do it, and the Undertaker was landing straight down on his head with the fall barely broken. He tucked at the last second, but it came that close to being more dangerous than the Brock Lesnar missed shooting star press a few years back. Everyone acted concerned, but it was done in a way where it was pretty clear nobody was panicking, so they knew he was okay. Undertaker was motionless. Then Michaels got to the ring, told the ref to count, even though you full well he was getting in at 9.9. He was motionless until 8 and barely beat the count. And given the streak, it was about as dramatic as a teased count out spot you'd ever see.
Yikes. I like that shot too.
Where it just disappears from the other side.
Yeah, I do. That's very well done. I think, I don't know if Curran Selfies was the director. I think he was. Kerwin was always one of the good ones. Kevin Sullivan agrees. See, I've got a house full of dogs and you've got just a couple and you can't shut them the fuck up.
Here's what's going on. I've got kids in from out of town this weekend.
Right. And they're playing with the dogs.
So I have a house full, and it is what it is.
I got you. They're really selling this too, man. Jesus Christ. They've been down on the floor a couple minutes.
Well, he needs to breathe, he's tired.
Shawn wants to count out because he wants to win it, right? Yeah. See, he's saying, stay down. He wants to be the man to end the streak. I love it. God, Shawn. Fuck.
Our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplements that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day, and I gave it a try because my wife knew that if I was going to do it, it needed to actually taste good. I was not a fan of taking pills and vitamins, and I started doing AG1, just one scoop every morning. My wife does it before she makes her coffee. And man, it just makes me feel sharper throughout the rest of the day. And I drank it and I made it a daily habit. And since I've been drinking it, I can tell you that I'm sleeping better. I feel like I've got more clarity. I feel like I'm more effective at work. And covering my nutritional basis for the day literally just couldn't be any easier. That's why we trust AG1. We just mix one small scoop in a cup of water, and that's it. Every morning we're done. I also want to point out that it's very affordable. It's like your daily nutritional insurance, if you will. It's going to improve your digestion. You're going to see more sustained energy. You're going to have better mental clarity and focus. It just checks all the boxes. And we should also mention that a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine. And that's why we recommend you try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go right now to drinkag1.com/WHW. That's drinkag1.com/WHW. Check it out. drinkag1.com/WHW.
How about the fans popping for a guy making it in before the 10 count? You know you're doing something right when the fans pop on something like that. Because normally when a guy rolls in, beats a 10 count, they go, match goes on. Not here, though.
Tuning up the band, teasing that super kick.
Yep.
And nope, choke slam instead. God damn, does anybody take a choke slam as well as Shawn Michaels?
1, 2.
I hope they show a replay of that choke slam. That was like out of a cartoon, out of a comic book, something you would draw. Undertaker wears extensions now. You ever wear extensions?
No.
Can we get you some for AEW?
No.
Real question. Are you going to wear your middle of the mall CZs on TV on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you mean? Oh.
You shouldn't do that.
I'll see. I'll ask if they say take them off. I'll take them off. I don't know. I'm a company player here.
Catches the chokes. Oh, another choke slam. No way. Oh,
wow.
Get it that time.
I would hope every wrestler who's ever want to be a star watches this match.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, it is. Who do they use as referee in this one?
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, it's kind of slow.
All right. That's enough for Kevin.
Okay. He's playing with the kids. Let Kevin play with the kids. It's okay. That's right, Kevin. You tell him. Watch out! A kip up! Conrad is taking care of Kevin Sullivan right now. Come on, Conrad, you're going to miss the finish. Come back. Come back. Tombstone. No, not. Power bomb. Holy shit. I'm seeing one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. Fuck. 1, 2. And a 2 count out of that. Oh my God.
Is Undertaker still dead?
Yeah. Conrad, this is one of the best matches I've ever seen. Look at that. Taking that power bomb. And still kicking out of it. Fans are with them, aren't they? Every step of the way.
You got it. I like that they're taking their time.
Yeah. Letting him sell it. Holy shit.
How about him doing the Shawn Michaels elbow?
Wow, both pulling up on either side. Oh, I want to skin the cat. Watch out, bud. Oh, shit. Oh, that's the finish. Did he kick out? Oh, great facial and a great shot of it. See, something like that was just, I may be wrong, but to get that great reaction shot of the Undertaker, I think was just luck, but it worked.
Yeah. The shot of the Undertaker is classic.
It is.
Look at the crowd, all standing, all clapping. There's one of those, maybe not the first, but one of the first, "This is awesome" chants.
Right.
I think the "This is awesome" chants had only been around since like 2005. How about when he pulls the strap down Lawler style?
Yep.
It's about to be that ass.
God, these guys are just busting their ass. And oh, fuck.
Didn't nail the DDT, but it was still pretty slick. Right.
Yeah, this is one of the best ever. This really is.
Bobby Heenan said it's the best match he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And then, when he was asked about it, he said, it's the best match I've ever seen, and fuck Tony Schiavone. Which I thought was weird.
I did too. But what I can say about Bobby Heenan.
What?
He's dead.
You're not going to say it now, though.
No. Hey, pulling himself up. Come on, Shawn. Look at the fans stand up with him, Conrad.
They're ready, man.
There's his elbow. Now they think that's it. How about the match had to go on after this?
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Popcorn fart.
It was John Cena, Edge, and Big Show. They would get 3 1/4 stars. They went 14 minutes and 42 seconds.
Well, that's pretty good. 3 3/4 stars or 3 1/4 stars.
Yeah. 3 and whatever.
Yeah. But still,
pretty good.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Getting ready for that super kick again.
Tuning up the band, baby. Is he going to hit it? What do you think?
Oh, did he ever? Fans, get up. 1, 2.
Everybody's like, that'll be it.
Some of the fans like, no, there's no way.
What's fun is, you got to remember at this point, he's 16-0, but there's still a bunch of fans here who are like, oh, he ain't beating that. He ain't getting out of that. You've made them believe. Good job.
So who was the heel here, or did it even matter?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think at this point it was just, these are the two best.
Right.
And I've done everything except beat you.
Right. It's more about who they are and the streak and what Shawn Michaels has been than it is bad guy versus good guy.
Right.
The old referee about ready to blow up too over there.
Well, shouldn't he be? Holy shit, the pace they're keeping here.
I know. Fuck. Oh my God. If you didn't really like pro wrestling and you watch this, you would say, okay, I'm in. I think this would draw anybody in. And my dogs agree. One of my dogs went, yep. Look at the chest. Holy shit.
Can you imagine how tired these motherfuckers were?
I think one of the things that, going back and taking a look at what has transpired in this match so far, one of the things that, that the Undertaker had to be very thankful for didn't break his fucking neck. That could have been his career right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, moonsault catches him. Tombstone. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. And it is.
Great fan reaction shot. Look at that.
What do you think?
How did they not give this 5 stars? How did Dave Meltzer, what did he miss on this?
Wasn't in Japan. Seriously, in this era, he wasn't passing out a lot of 5-star matches in America. It was a real big deal. Now I feel like he's gotten a little more lenient. He's gonna be mad I said that, I'm sure, but he gives a lot of 5-star matches now. Once upon a time, nobody got 5 stars.
Yeah. Well, we all change. 17-0.
Like an Alabama regular season record.
That'd be 12-0.
No, I just mean like it's a regular.
Gotcha. Yeah. Undefeated. I see
just, not like, oh, not postseason. Or I just mean like, we never lose, but Undertaker nearly lost his life there.
Yes, he did.
I love that choke slam. God dang, he took that good.
Yes, he can.
He got up for it.
Tombstone, man. Everything everything is just on target. I mean, everything.
What would you put it up there with? You know, you said one of the best matches you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Compared to some other great ones you saw. Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. You said that was on the list.
That was on Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. The first one was one of the best matches I had seen. Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, house show match. One of the best matches I'd ever seen. Anderson Brothers against Greg Valentine and Ric Flair.
Oh, it's a deep cut there.
Yeah. Sean Jones, thank you for this, buddy.
Great match. Great pick. Glad you got to see it, Tony. Tony. And we appreciate all you guys supporting us here on Patreon. And we look forward to another early show coming up because this week I think we're doing an old Clash with the Black Scorpion. Should be a good time. And we've got a whole list of stuff planned. And I don't know that we're going to reveal that on the regular show, but we'll go ahead and tell you guys right now what's coming your way. We've got next week, hashtag Ask Tony Anything.
All right.
And we want to make sure we get all your questions here on Patreon. So if you're a patron, we'll make sure that Tony throws up a post and we'll make sure we ask all of your questions. On the 16th, we've got a surprise episode. On the 23rd, Halloween Havoc 1994. This, of course, is the Ric Flair retirement match against Hulk Hogan. On the 30th, Halloween Havoc 1996. That'll be with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man on top and the debut of Roddy Piper afterwards. November 6th, going to do something different. Another ECW show. November to Remember 1999. On November 13th, we're going to do Clash of the Champions 25. On November 20th, we'll do Clash 13. And November 27th, we're going way back, baby. Starrcade 84. How excited are you to cover 84?
Starrcade 84?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Starrcade 84.
You excited?
Yes, I am. That's with, I believe, Smoking Joe Frazier, the special referee.
I mean, what a big moment it was when we finally saw, Ric Flair back again at Starrcade, this time defending his world title against Dusty Rhodes. And you're exactly right. Joe Frazier's there. The undercard is Tully and Steamboat, Wahoo and Superstar, Ivan and Nikita against Ole and Keith Larson, Ron Bass and Dick Slater, Paul Jones and Jimmy Valiant, Manny Fernandez and Black Bart, Assassin Number 1 and Buzz Taylor taking on Elijah Akeem and Kareem Muhammad, Jesse Barr and Mike Graham, Brian Adias and Mr. Ito, Denny Brown and Mike Davis. That's old school, man. Old school. Clash of the Champions 13. Do you have any recollection of this one? Do you remember?
No, I don't. That had to be, that had to be while I was in the WWE.
November 20th, 1990. You're back for this.
I am. Oh yes, I am back for this. Okay.
Ric Flair and Butch Reed in your main event.
Wow.
The Steiner Brothers and Magnum Force, Sid Vicious and the Night Stalker, the Renegade Warriors and the Nasty Boys, Lex Luger and the Motor City Madman, Sergeant Kruger and Colonel DeClerc against the Beast and Kahlua.
Kahlua. Named after a bottle of liquor.
Yes. Michael Wall Street and the Star Blazer, Tom Zink and Prime Time Brian Lee, the Big Cat and Brad Armstrong, Brian Pillman and Buddy Landell, the Fabulous Freebirds and the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. Good stuff. But well, I guess we should mention Clash 25 was also on the list. Do you remember anything about Clash 25 before I run it down?
No, I don't.
Flair and Vader for the world title. Nasty Boys against Sting and Davey Boy. Dustin against Paul Orndorff. Steve Austin against Brian Pillman. Regal against Johnny B. Bad. The Shockmaster versus the Equalizer. And Rick Rude versus Road Warrior Hawk. Pretty good stuff here in late 93. So lots of fun stuff coming your way. Appreciate your support. You're going to get those shows early and ad free as you do every week, exclusively here on
Patron.
I stepped on your fart. Do it again. Yeah, I want to do one too.
That's better.
Oh,
that's better than my fault.
I'm a professional pooter, baby.
We had a blast at StarCast 6. A huge thank you to everyone who attended. And if you want to relive our stage show experience, you can with Premier Streaming Network. Over 20 stage shows took place StarCast weekend. From comedy shows, design panels, musical performances, talk shows, and more. Including a live edition of AEW Unrestricted with CEO Tony Khan. Sign up for Premier Streaming Network today and check out the shows available now on demand and in HD. And if you sign up today, you'll get 2 months free of Premier Plus. Enjoy the amazing lineup of content that Premier Streaming Network offers, including all 5 previous StarCast stage show lineups. Hundreds of hours of fantastic wrestling content at your fingertips. Visit StarCastOnPremiere.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what AdFreeShows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that AdFreeShows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. AdFreeShows.com.